Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about the Whis archetype and kind of like the inherent problem with decks like this, like Yellow Gotenks and like Skillless Gohan from set 11. There is like a decent problem with these decks. Part of the fact is that they're yellow and it has to do with the yellow card pool, but we'll get into that as we go over the cards. I gotta go over the cards with you guys before I can talk about why, you know, these decks face issues. And who knows, I could be totally wrong. Whis could be absolutely meta come set 12. And I have been playing a build of Whis, but I'm doing this video instead of like a profile because I'm not totally happy with where that list is yet. I don't think it's like quite refined enough. So if it were more refined, I'd be bringing that list instead of this video. But here I want to talk about the archetype, talk about the ways you can customize it, and then talk about, you know, some of the ways that I think these decks face some issues in the format. But anyways, if you're new here, definitely subscribe, hit that bell so you miss a video. And if you want to help the channel out, go down in the description. Many links that help out the channel. One of which today, guys, go to TCG Player if you want to buy or pre-order anything we talk about in this video. It really helps out a lot. That being said, let's just get started. So Whis leader, on the face of it, he's a value powerhouse. When he attacks, draw one, auto once per turn. If it's your opponent's turn, when a yellow skillless battle card with 15,000 power basically is comboed, you get to play it. So it just all the extra mumbo jumbo just to say that, right? Awaken when there's 4 or less, or you have a yellow Unison card in play with specified cost of 2. You may draw one, untap it energy, and flip over. So on the backside, same thing with the attack draw, same thing with the auto. You combo with skillless in your opponent's turn, you play it. Activate main once per turn, pay a yellow, choose a yellow Son Goku or Vegeta with energy cost of 2 in your battle area, place in the owner's drop area, then choose one yellow battle card from your deck with an energy cost of 3 with the X Evolve skill and the same character name and play it on top, then shuffle your deck. So essentially what that's saying is you pay 1 to EX Evolve over the corresponding Goku or Vegeta, right? So I did do a search of other yellow 15k skillless battle cards. The only thing that came up were a Sui and an Apul, which are 2 Frieza Army skillless cards. I don't really think there would be any great like Frieza Army themed deck you could play with Whis, but that is an option in case you guys are wondering. But obviously, as we go through this video, there are Gokus and Vegetas you play with this. We'll skip over the Frieza stuff. I've been playing Frieza actually, and I'll probably bring it as a profile this week just to let you know. So Vado's Cosmic 8, this is the main Unison you're playing with the deck. Excellent Unison, incredible Unison. Auto, when your opponent attacks, you may choose a yellow skillless battle card in your hand or drop area and combo with it. If you do, negate the skill for the turn. So this is another part of the value powerhouse. You can have skillless in your drop area, use her auto to combo from the drop, much like the old red yellow Beerus leader, and then you can play it via your leader's effect, which is definitely great. Activate main once per turn, choose one of your opponent's battle cards or Unison cards, switch to rest mode. So in terms of switching Unisons, or rather battle cards to rest mode, you can swing into them, which is nice in a lot of scenarios. Activate main -4, play up to 2 skillless battle cards with 50,000 power from your deck or drop area, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. Super solid Unison, super solid leader so far. Let's keep going. Son Goku, Deity's Disciple, 3-drop, critical, 20k, EX Evolves over a yellow Son Goku with energy cost of 2. Now, of course, there are other yellow Son Goku's cost of 2 you can play, but in this deck in particular, the easiest way to get those onto the board is by comboing them and getting them onto the board via your leader effect. So maybe these are splashable in other archetypes. That'd be a cool thing to explore. And also, what's really funny is with Gokus and Vegetas here, if Gogeta 7 was not on the ban list, I guarantee you people would be playing this deck blue-yellow and they'd just be playing Gogeta 7. That'd be really unfortunate, but cool thing it's banned. Anyways, auto, when this card attacks, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, rest mode, KO it. Excellent skill. This does fix one of the main issues that yellow has, which is removal. Yellow just couldn't really deal with boards. I understand they have to put the stipulation of the opponent's card being in rest mode, but here they did it very well. You know, if the card's rest mode, KO it, doesn't matter what its energy cost is, as opposed to like some green cards that still have an energy restriction on what they can KO, even though Charismatic Villain is pretty much KOs everything in the game for the most part, besides Secret Rares, but that's neither here nor there. Auto, when this card's removed from battle area by an opponent's skill, play up to 1 yellow Vegeta with energy cost of 2 from your deck, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So cool thing here is this doesn't specify a skillless Vegeta, but these guys aren't always getting removed by skills, so do you really fill your deck with non-skillless Vegetas just to play it for free off of this? Maybe. It's something more that I'm trying to explore with the deck, which is again why I didn't want to bring you guys a list, because I don't think it's quite refined enough. Son Goku skillless, you play this, you combo it, and you get into play with your leader effect. Son Gohan, Stalling for Time, not a bad card, but I'm not currently playing it in my build, but it could be good. Add 1 card of life to hand. When this card attacks, it basically becomes a 15k, so our typical, you know, 1-drop swing, take a life, help self-awakener. Auto, if your leader card's yellow, when you deal damage to your opponent by attacking with this card, look at top 7, play up to 1 yellow skillless battle card with energy cost of 2 and 15,000 power among them in rest mode, then shuffle your deck. So, I mean, with only 8 skillless in the deck, and you probably should play 4 Goku and Vegeta because you want to see them and combo them from your hand. I don't really think this is a super consistent effect. I mean, again, you could play the Sui and the Apul, get more guys into play, but do you really just want to play like 16 or 12 vanillas? Probably not. So not in love with this card by any means. Here's the Vegeta that goes over the skillless Vegeta. Double strike, EX evolve, pay 1, draw 1. Yellow Vegeta with an energy cost of 2. When your opponent activates a counter skill during a battle with this card, you may switch this card to active mode. So that Bardock Resolute effect, that's actually quite strong. If you do negate this card's skill for the turn, auto, when it's removed, you get to play Yellow Sun Goku with an energy cost of 2 from your deck or drop area. So same thing. Do we look at the other Gokus that are, 2-drop yellow? We definitely can, and you definitely should when building this deck, and it does open up your options, which is quite cool, but it is reliant on your opponent removing it with a skill, which is just a little bit specific. Not outside the realm of possibility by any means, but it is a little bit specific. Vegeta 15k, you play it. Piccolo, Precision Strikes. This card's pretty weird. 1-drop counter attack, negate the attack, play this card in rest mode, so obviously it's immediately bait to be attacked. Auto, plays this card in the owner's drop area. At the start of your next turn, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 4 or less, and negate its skills for the turn. So if it survives, you get a Bloodlust for something that's already in play. There might be some scenarios where this is relevant. I can't think of any off the top of my head, which leads me to believe this card is not all that great, but who knows. Krillin making a comeback, 2-drop 10k blocker if your leader card is yellow. When one of your skillless battle cards with energy cost of 2 is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill or KO'd, you may play this card from your hand. If you do, you can't play copies for the turn. Not something I'm maining at the moment. I could see usage for this card, especially in maybe an aggro matchup, but then again, the aggro players probably aren't even going to worry about your board, so you might not even get this guy in play, so doesn't seem all that great. Super combo, cool thing. Bulma setting out SOS, 1-drop auto. If your leader's a Whis and it's your opponent's turn, when this card's using a combo with up to 1 yellow skillless battle card with energy cost of 2 and 15k power from your deck, then shuffle your deck. So this is essentially a 0 energy play the skillless from your deck by comboing. It is really good. It is very good, actually. I'm not playing this card at the moment. That might be a mistake, but the deck space is pretty tight, and at the moment I haven't found room to fit this card with all the other things you want to play. That is one of the issues with the deck, or with these types of decks in general, but it is a good card nonetheless. Beerus and Awe of the Golden Emperor, 3-drop 15k, but his real important thing here is the auto. If your leader's Whis and it's your turn, when this card's using a combo, choose up to 2 of your yellow skillless battle cards, 15,000 power, switch them to active mode. They get plus 5,000 power for the turn. Then you can't activate autos on this card for the turn. Again, good card. Helps you be aggressive. It is quite cool. Yellow nowadays, without swapping a thing, isn't super aggressive. The other yellow cards you'll be playing, like Raider's Warcry, I guess Raider's Warcry is relatively aggressive, but you don't necessarily have the energy to spend on that and this until you get to turn 3. I don't know. It just seems like an aggro card in a deck that doesn't necessarily want to be aggressive, but maybe it's good for the late game push. Whis Helping Hand, this card is really snapped in half, so 1-drop 4k. When this card's played, look at top 5, add a skillless or a 2-cost Unison, so you should have at least 12 targets in the deck. That's a pretty decent ratio. You could also play more Unisons, which will give you more targets. Auto, when you use a yellow skillless battle card in a combo, draw a card. You can't activate autos on copies of this card for the turn, so you can't just play a bunch of them and then stack their autos. But still, great card, gives you a ton of value, gives you a lot of draw. So yellow does draw a lot of cards, and we'll just talk about this as we go through the next couple cards here. Yellow draws a ton of cards, but that's not yellow's problem. Yellow's problem isn't really drawing cards. Yellow's problem is more so doing things with those cards. And as I scroll through here, there's one more Whis card, Spatial Transmission, counter attack. If your leader is a Whis card, to get the attack, and then choose one card in your hand and discard it. If you do, play a yellow skillless battle card with energy cost of 2 and 15,000 power from your drop in rest mode. So it is a good negate. I think yellow, another problem with yellow is their negate lineup. It's pretty strange, as in, Nimbus isn't what it used to be. It doesn't really get around any of the Unison attacking decks, big leader attacking decks, and a lot of battle card attacking decks even. They just swing big with battle cards, so they're not even too restricted in that scenario. Time Magic is good, but quite specifically only good against dual attackers, which there are, granted. Things like Blue Janemba has a dual attacker, Green Gotenks has a dual attacker, so it is good. There are other random ones like Paternal Bonds and some other random ones, but Spatial Transmission is good in Whis in particular because it plays the skills from the drop. But here comes the part where these yellow decks basically have an issue, right? So take Yellow Gotenks, take skillless Gohan, and take this Whis deck, right? They all have their core engines. Gotenks has the fusion engine, Gohan has its skillless engine, and this Whis deck has its skillless engine, right? Problem is, these decks do take up about 20-ish, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, that amount of cards to fit their engine, right? So you're doing that, and then you're playing the other generic yellow cards. You have like Raider's Warcry, you have Basil Fatal Rampage, you have Bergamo Ferocious Roar. You have all these different cards, these generic yellow cards, that it's hard to say they're not good. It's hard to say Raider's Warcry isn't good. It's hard to say Bergamo Ferocious Roar isn't good, but they just haven't been cutting it. They didn't cut it with they kind of cut it with Yellow Gotenks. They didn't cut it with Yellow Gohan. They didn't cut it with some other decks in previous formats. And Yellow has been off the radar as of set 11 format. Set 10 format, Gotenks was there. I kind of attribute that more to the fact that a lot of high-level players were playing it, like Jordan Markle, Amani Edwards, and players like that. They were playing that. So that definitely lends aid to the deck. But, you know, Yellow is struggling to do a lot of things right now. It's struggling to put a board together. It's struggling to deal with an opponent's board. And really, every Yellow deck right now just feels like Celestino Turbo, which, in my opinion, doesn't feel all that great. So that is one of my main problems with Yellow at the moment, just from a competitive standpoint. This isn't even like me complaining. I think the themes are very cool, very, very well designed. They're very fun to play. But Yellow, as it stands right now, it just doesn't seem to be doing as much as some of these other colors in terms of dealing with boards, putting pressure on, and stuff like that. So that's just my opinion, guys. I do want to know what you think. Again, maybe Whis might end up being meta. Who knows? When I come to a list I'm more comfortable with, I will bring it to you guys. But anyways, I want to know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.